The amber wick of the seventh hour trembles against the cooling stone of the nave, where the day exhales its final gilded breath. We stand in the gathering gloaming, not as masters of the morning, but as stewards of the twilight, carrying the residue of the week's dust upon our sandals, and the weight of our brother's silence within our own throats. There is a specific gravity to this Sunday evening, a density of spirit that Richard and Betty once captured in the simplicity of a wooden flute and a heart laid bare. It is the geometry of the basin and the towel, the architecture of the bended knee that defines our gathering here beneath the vaulted shadows. We are a tapestry of calloused palms and weary eyes, woven together by the singular thread of a promise that we shall not walk the jagged path of the world in isolation. The air is thick with the scent of extinguished beeswax and the lingering echo of the Gloria. Yet here in the quietude of the 7 p.m. choir, the music becomes a living sinew, a ligament of grace that binds the broken to the whole. To be the servant is to relinquish the ivory tower of the self and disown into the fertile valley of the other. It is to recognize that the Christ light we carry is not a torch for our own illumination, but a lantern held steady for the one whose oil has run dry in the thickets of despair. We look across the pews and see not strangers, but reflections of a shared fragility, a communion of pilgrims whose only map is the cadence of a common heartbeat. The harmony we seek is not found in the perfection of the note, but in the vulnerability of the breath, the way a soprano's plea nests within the baritone's resolve. We are learning the difficult vernacular of the foot washer, the syntax of the one who stands behind the burden of a friend to push when the incline becomes too steep. In this sacred space, the boundaries of the ego dissolve like incense in the rafters, leaving only the raw essence of a people who have decided that to lead is to follow, and to possess is to give away. Listen to the subterranean resonance of the wood, the way the benches groan under the weight of 100 different sorrows and 1,000 whispered hopes. The Gillard melody is of sighing timber, spanning the chasm between the divine and the mundane, reminding us that the highest liturgy is found in the lowest service. We sing not to the rafters, but to the person beside us, our voices interlocking like the fingers of a desperate prayer. It is an evening of profound surrender, where the frantic noise of the commercial week is silenced by the rhythmic peace of the servant's path. We are the guardians of each other's shadows, the keepers of the flame in the windswept canyon of the soul. When one of us stumbles on the flint of bitterness, the choir does not stop. It merely softens, creating a hollow of sound where the fallen might rest, until the strength to rise returns to their limbs as the moon ascends to claim the zenith of the dark. Our gathering becomes a sanctuary of the submissive will. There is no vanity in this 7 p.m. light, only the translucent truth of the gospel made flesh in the act of being present. We are the clay and the potter's hand simultaneously, being shaped by the very service we offer to the world. Each stanza is a commitment to stay when the others flee, to speak when the world demands silence, and to weep when the joy of our neighbor is too heavy for them to celebrate alone. This is the monumental quiet of the servant song, a quiet that roars louder than the cathedrals of stone, because it is built from the living stones of human compassion. We exit into the night, not as those who have finished a performance, but as those who have been recharged at the source of all empathy, ready to be the hands that heal and the feet that carry the message of an unyielding and sacrificial love into the cold corners of the coming Monday. The evening air in Jerusalem held a weight that did not belong to the sun, a density of secrets kept behind bolted cedar doors, where the 10 sat trembling in a half-light of joy and terror. But the one called Didymus walked the outer perimeter of the city's grief, his sandals grinding the gray dust of a world that remained stubbornly, cruelly the same. For Thomas, the architecture of the soul was built on the geometry of the visible, a carpenter's son who knew that a beam must be felt to be trusted, and a joint must be plain to be true. He was the twin of our own hesitation, the mirror of the mind that refuses to be comforted by ghosts or the frantic whispers of those who claim the grave has exhaled its prize. He demanded not a vision, but a collision with the physical reality of a scar, for only a wound is deep enough to hold the vastness of a man's despair. When the 8th day dawned and the walls seemed to breathe with the pulse of the uncreated, the air in the room grew sharp with the scent of lilies and old blood. There he stood, not as a shimmering phantom of the mind's desire, but as the master of the loom, wearing the punctures of the world's malice like badges of an ancient cosmic rank. The invitation was a thunderclap of mercy. Reach out the finger, extend the hand, map the geography of the side, where the spear had carved a tavern for the weary. In that moment, the distance between the skeptic's eye and the Savior's heart collapsed into a single trembling point of contact. The logic of the stone gave way to the logic of the flame. The twin who sought the limit of the flesh found the shoreless ocean of the divine. And the cry that shattered the silence was not a confession of logic, but a surrender of the entire being. My Lord and my God. From that threshold of tactile grace, the path of the apostle did not retreat into the safety of the known, but surged outward like a river, seeking a distant, burning sea. July 3rd marks the zenith of a journey that spanned the spine of the world. From the rugged rugged hills of Judea to the humid, spice-laden breath of the Malabar coast. The man who once required the touch of a finger now carried the weight of a kingdom across the Indus and the Ganges, his footsteps weaving a tapestry of light through the dark forests of the East. He who was slow to believe became the swiftest to run, his heart forged into a vessel of unshakable iron, tempered by the memory of that upper room. He traded the familiar stars of Galilee for the southern constellations of India, preaching to kings and craftsmen alike that the God of all creation possessed a body that could be broken, a heart that could be felt, and a life that could never again be contained by the geometry of death. Now the monsoon rains of Mylapore sing his name against the granite crosses that stand as sentinels of his sacrifice. The doubt that was once his shadow has become the foundation of our certainty, for he asked the questions we were too afraid to whisper, and touched the darkness we were too timid to face. On this feast of the 3rd day of July, we do not celebrate a man of hesitation, but a man of the ultimate leap, the traveler who did the chasm between the seen and the unseen with the of his own martyrdom. He stands forever at the edge of the world, a twin to every soul that wanders in the twilight of uncertainty, pointing with a scarred and holy hand toward the wounds that have become the windows of the universe, proving that the most stubborn heart, once broken by the truth, becomes the most immovable pillar of the faith.
The heavy bronze of the cathedral bell tolls 12 times into the biting frost of a January midnight, shaking the crystalline air where the old ghost of the past year exhales its final breath. We stand upon the threshold of the unwritten, where the snow lies like an unblemished shroud over the failures and the triumphs of the months dissolved. In this hallowed pause, this liturgical transition, where the secular clock meets the eternal pulse, we do not look to the stars for cold divination, nor to the sand for a measure of our worth. Instead, we turn our gaze toward the singular.
Morning star, the vessel of the infinite, she who bore the weight of glory within a temporal. Ave Maria, the salutation of the threshold, the between the frozen earth and the celestial fire. We bring to you the raw timber of January, the brittle ice of new intentions, and the shivering hope of a calendar that has yet to bleed. We consecrate the dawn of this rotation, placing the keys of our months, the gears of our hours, and the very marrow of our days into the hollow of your protective hands.
Mother of the new beginning, you who are the garden enclosed, and the gate through which the word entered our shattered history, receive this oblation of our future. The year ahead is a vast and trackless desert of time, a labyrinth of choices and a forest of shadows, where we might easily lose the thread of our purpose. To you, we entrust the 12 mansions of the sun. We give you our February vigils and our March renewals, the blossoming uncertainty of April, and the floral litanies of May. We ask that your mantle, woven of humility and blue light, be the horizon that bounds our wandering. Let no hour of this year be spent outside the perimeter of your intercession. If the heat of July scorches our resolve, be the cooling dew of the Paraclete. If the harvest of October finds our storehouses empty of virtue, let your abundance compensate for our poverty. We are but clay and clockwork, ticking toward an inevitable silence. Yet when we breathe your name across the frost of this new year, the gears of the world seem to turn with a more melodic grace. The worship we offer in the sanctuary of time is not a tribute to the passing of seconds, but a consecration of the human heart to the Queen of Seasons. We look at the January sky, white as a wafer and silent as the desert, and we see in its purity a reflection of your fiat. As you said yes to the overshadowing spirit, let our year be a prolonged yes to the movements of grace. We surrender the vanity of our resolutions, those brittle glass houses we build at every new year. And we ask instead for the stone-solid architecture of your faith. Entrusting this year to you is not an act of abdication, but an act of supreme alignment. We place our families, our labors, our hidden griefs, and our public joys into the treasury of your immaculate heart, knowing that what is held by you cannot be stolen by the thieving hand of time. Every sunrise of this January is a fresh page of the Magnificat, and we desire to write our lives in the ink of your virtues, avoiding the blots of pride and the smudges of despair. Tower of ivory, house of gold, the winter wind howls through the streets of the world, carrying the scent of smoke and the rumors of unrest. Yet, in this Marian worship, there is a stillness that the calendar cannot disturb. We consecrate the collective pulse of the year to your maternal care. May the months be a ladder of ascent, and may each day be a bead on a rosary of lived devotion. We entrust to you the beginning, the middle, and the end, the winter of our doubt and the spring of our awakening. As the earth tilts back toward the warmth, let our souls tilt toward the sun. You care, Maria. The year is yours, the breath is yours, the very rhythm of our hearts is a prayer offered in the sanctuary of your love. We step into the frost with warmth in our spirits, for the Queen of January has become our guide, and the new year is no longer a void to be feared, but a temple to be inhabited, consecrated, and offered back to the source of all light, through your most holy and maternal hands. The shadows of the late day stretch long and thin across the transept where the dust mote stands, in the dying amber of the stained glass. It is 7 p.m. on a Sunday that feels like a slow intake of breath before the world turns its heavy face towards the coming week. Inside the hollowed stone of the Catholic sanctuary, the air is thick with the scent of extinguished beeswax and the lingering ghost of incense that clings to the velvet curtains of the confessional. There is a specific silence that only exists here at this hour. A silence that is not an absence of sound, but a deliberate preparation for the first note to break the surface of the stillness. We stand in a semicircle, the four pillars of the human voice arranged in a geometric grace of soprano, awaiting the invisible downbeat of a spirit that moves between the rafters. Jacques Berthier's ghost breathes through the open pages of the score, where the notes sit like small black birds on a wire, waiting for the signal to take flight. The music of Taizé does not seek to conquer the ear with grandiosity, but to erode the ego through the persistent, gentle friction of repetition. It is an ostinato of the soul, a revolving door of prayer that allows the mind to step out of time and into the eternal pulse of the present. We begin with a hum that rises from the floorboards, a resonance that vibrates in the soles of our feet before it ever reaches the throat. The basses provide the bedrock, a deep and subterranean earth upon which the architecture of the liturgy is built. Their voices are the heavy stones of the foundation, moss-covered and ancient, holding the weight of the temple with a stoic and unyielding hum. Then the tenors weave their silver thread through the middle air, a melody that yearns upward like smoke from a votive candle. They sing of the long watch, of the night, of the vigil that never ends, of the heart that remains awake while the city sleeps in its fever of steel and neon. The altos bring the warmth of a heart fire, their voices a rich mahogany that fills the gaps between the high and the low, creating a texture of domestic holiness. They are the compassion in the chords, the inner harmony that understands the weariness of the weak and offers a place of rest within the cadence. And finally, the sopranos let loose a thin crystalline line of light that pierces the darkness of the nave. It is a sound like the first star appearing in the violet sky above the bell tower, a high and fragile longing that reaches for the hem of the divine. Wait for the Lord is the command, and the promise whispered in a four-part harmony that cycles like the seasons or the tides. It is not a passive waiting of the idle, but the active waiting of the watchman on the wall, the tension of the bowstring before the arrow is released, the silence of the earth before the seed breaks the crust. In this 7 o'clock hour, the church becomes a vessel, a ship of stone, sailing through the indigo currents of the twilight. The repetition of the phrase becomes a mantra that strips away the vanity of the self until there is nothing left but the breath and the word and the shared vibration of 50 hearts beating in a synchronized rhythm. We are no longer individuals, rituals, with names and grievances and histories. We are a single instrument played by the wind of the liturgy. The architecture of the church responds to our offering as the sound bounces off the vaulted ceiling and returns to us softened and blurred by the distance. It is as if the stones themselves are singing back, echoing the centuries of prayers that have saturated the mortar. This is the genius of the Taizé tradition. It turns the congregation into a monastery of the moment, where the simplest truth is refined in the crucible of the collective voice. As the sun disappears entirely and the only light remains in the flickering tongues of the candles on the altar, the music deepens in hue. The minor thirds resolve into major chords, like a fever breaking or a door swinging open into a room full of light. We sing until the air is saturated with the presence of what we are waiting for. Wait for the Lord, whose day is near. The words lose their semantic edges and become pure texture, a velvet blanket laid over the anxieties of the mundane world. In this Catholic space, where every shadow is pregnant with ritual, the choir becomes between the visible and the invisible. We are the stewards of this specific Sunday transition, the priests of the evening atmosphere, holding the space between the sacred rest and the secular labor. When the last note finally fades, it does not truly end, but lingers in the ear as a phantom resonance, a hum that continues in the marrow of the bones. Long after we have closed our books and walked out into the cool night air, inside the hollowed stone of the Catholic sanctuary, the air's thick with the scent of extinguished beeswax and the lingering ghost of incense that clings to the velvet curtains of the confession. The indigo shadows of the sanctuary stretch long against the cooling stone. As the clock strikes the 7th hour of the final day, there is a specific gravity to this late assembly, a gathering of the weary who carry the dust of the weekend on their souls and the anticipation of the coming labor in their quieted hearts. Here, under the dimming rafters, the air is thick with the scent of extinguished beeswax and the lingering sweetness of the afternoon's incense. Yet something more ancient begins to stir. The choir, a small constellation of voices in the loft, prepares to breathe life into the silence. Their harmonies not of a triumphant morning, but of a deep, sustaining dusk. We stand at the threshold where the temporal meets the eternal, where the simple fruit of the earth and the work of human hands are poised to become the sustenance of the soul. Listen to the rustle of the grain in the wind of the Judean hills. The sound transposed into the soft shuffling of feet moving toward the center aisle. This is the threshed gold of the field, ground between the heavy stones of our shared burdens, moistened by the tears of our collective longing, and fired in the kiln of a love that refuses to remain distant. The lyrics of Kuni rise like a slow-burning flame, reminding us that we do not merely come to observe a miracle, but to be consumed by one. I myself am the bread of life, the melody insists, not as a static relic behind glass, but as a living pulse, a brokenness that heals, a poverty that enriches the beggar.